about hijra. The scholars have two opinions about hijra. Some say that as long as you can practice your religion, meaning the essential pillars of your religion, meaning you can pray and you can fast and you can give the zakah and you're free to perform the hajj. And they added another condition: you are free to criticize and speak out against the religion or the ideology of that nation in which you live. So as long as you can fulfill those conditions, they say it is not haram to live in those lands. The other opinion is that it is an obligation upon the Muslim to leave the lands of the non-Muslims and to live in the lands of the Muslims. If you look at the various evidences, which we're not going to go into them all tonight, but if you look at the various evidences that the scholars bring forth, it would seem that the strongest evidence is that it is not permitted for the Muslim to stay and remain and to live permanently in the land of the non-Muslims. Meaning hijra is an obligation. And the only exception that the scholars made for this is those people who stay, not the only exception actually, that's not correct. There are a few exceptions they made. One exception is that a person who is a refugee. The other exception is a person who comes temporarily for medical treatment or for business, or they come temporarily, meaning they come for a short amount of time in order to acquire some knowledge that cannot be acquired in the Muslim lands. So those four categories, they said it's permissible for them to come for those periods of time in order to acquire those things. And the fifth category, which is the only category which allows some permanent type of stay, is that the person who has come to the land of the non-Muslims to give da'wah. That means to inform the people of the message of Islam. So this is a very strong opinion. If you look at the evidences, mashallah, the evidences are very strong. So brothers and sisters, we have to think about that, because remember we said, what is ibadah? Ibadah is everything which Allah loves and is pleased with from the actions of the heart and the actions of the limbs. So one of the actions of the limbs is where you live. The land where you live is one of the actions of the limbs. It's an action. So for your action of living in the land of the non-Muslims to be an action that Allah loves and is pleased with, you should be fulfilling one of those conditions. The major one of which is to be a da'i, or someone who is inviting people to Islam.